Hey everybody out there. We thought there might be some questions regarding ionophores in horse feed due to the story that's out there about the large bucking string in the West that unfortunately has been poisoned by ionophore in feed. So let's talk a little bit about what ionophores are, and if you guys have questions you can drop them below for this video. If I don't get to them during the video, we'll use this as a place to answer your questions in sort of a central location. So again, if you've got questions, drop them down below. We'll do our best to get them answered. So let's start with what are ionophores. And ionophores are a class of additives to feed that are commonly given to cattle and poultry, and they help those animals gain more weight more efficiently, use their feed better. They do all kinds of really good things for them in very small doses. The problem ends up happening if horses are exposed to those same medications. In the case of horses, what is a dose that is appropriate for a cow or even a chicken is fatal to a horse. They are incredibly sensitive to these additives, and they cause irreversible heart damage, and we do not have a treatment. So the two most common ways that this happens are that horses are accidentally fed cattle feed, or more commonly, and this seems to be what has happened in this case, we aren't 100% sure, but it seems to be what's happened, is that feed is manufactured at a facility that makes both horse and cattle feeds. And either labeling mistakes happen or the line is not appropriately cleared, and so we end up with those additives in the horse feed. So it's nearly always a mistake of some sort. I will say that I don't think I've ever seen or heard of a horse getting ionophores on purpose where someone said, oh, I'm going to feed this cattle feed. It's been a mistake where they've accidentally gotten cattle feed. But what are some things that you can do to feel safe about your feed? One of the biggest things you can do is look to see if your manufacturer manufactures feed in what's called an ionophore-free facility. Equine Legacy Nutrition, it's a Facebook page. She has compiled a list of companies that have told her, and she's researched this list, are they ionophore-free or ionophore-safe? If you want the lowest risk, you're going with an ionophore-free manufacturing process. And what that means is that everything is separate. So on the facility where they mill and manufacture horse feed, they do not mill and manufacture any other type of feed, to be honest, because horses are sensitive, delicate critters that they are. So only horse feeds get done in that facility. In addition, all of the additives that come into that facility to be put into those feed and all of the transport mechanisms used to get that feed to the store are ionophore free as well. And I don't necessarily mean that you can't ship a bag of horse feed with a bag of cattle feed, but if your feed is coming to an area in bulk, that if they're ionophore free, you are not putting that bulk horse feed in a tank or a truck or anything else that has carried cattle feed. That's how sensitive horses are. They can get enough to cause damage, maybe not be fatal, but definitely be career-ending just from having their feed run through a silo that had previously had treated cattle feed in it. So it is really important that if possible, you look at an ionophore-free manufacturing facility. There are a number of major feed brands that are ionophore-free in their manufacturing. So if you're feeding one of the major brands, the chances are good they are on that list, but not all of them are. So I would check it. Ionophore safe means that they have processes and procedures in place to do the very best they can to make sure that there are no ionophores in the feed. So there may be mixing. It may be that they're done on the same facility, but horse feeds are manufactured in a separate line on a different place on the property. It may be that there is some intermixing of transport, but they have recognized the potential disaster that is ionophores, and they have mitigated it through processes and procedures to try to keep everything as safe as they possibly can. If you talk to your feed company and they say, yep, we manufacture horse cow, chicken, goat, you name it, it's all off that line right there, and it's all the same, then that is a recipe for disaster. Because all it takes is not washing a line, basically. You know, like, you've got to make sure that everything is clean to such an extreme level that it is so easy to contaminate horse feeds with ionophores. So again, what you're looking for ideally is an ionophore free facility. If you've got ionophore safe, you don't panic right now. Check out the facilities, and we can talk you through the process of how to be sure that you feel okay about your feed that you're feeding your horses. The other thing I would say that I am always a bit neurotic about is if you have medicated feeds on your facility, because you have cows or goats or sheep or chickens that get medicated feed, that feed needs to be obsessively marked. Like, there are red stickers on it. It is in a separate feed room. Every person who comes on that property is told not to feed this to horses, because where the accidents have occurred have been well-meaning people who were trying to bring horses up, and so they just dumped a little feed, or somebody wanted to give some, a little bit of treats to the horses, and so they went in and got the cattle feed and fed it. It has been very well-meaning people who they didn't even know that this feed could be this deadly. So again, feed an ionophore-free feed. If you have ionophore feeds on property with horses, make sure that it is extremely clearly marked that horses cannot get this, and every person who comes on the property knows. And as always, if you've got any questions, give us a call, a text, a message down below, whatever works for you. We're here to answer any questions you may have.